All right, how's everyone doing? Welcome to From Z to A, Alphabetical Interviews with Zach Andersen. I am Zach Andersen. Today we are here at White House Productions in Shelton for the 19th edition of Monsters of Acoustic Rock, and I am joined by Fee-Fi-Fo.
Hi, Zach.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourselves and your instruments.
Okay, I'm Ronnie Newhouser, and I'm the guitarist.
Fred Lolo, bassist.
James Moss, background vocals, percussion.
John White, they call me Papa White. I'm the vocalist and I play some hand percussion.
All right, excellent. So yeah, I'm going to ask you the difficult questions as long as it has something to do with the letters of your band name.
Okay.
So we'll start with F. Tell me about your, how did Fee-Fi-Fo form?
Actually, I can't remember how many years, a few years ago. What was that, 4 years ago maybe, John?
3, 4.
4 years ago. I actually asked John to do, both have different projects. And I said, it would be cool to do it like an acoustic thing, because we both have electric bands,
Okay.
and I have a bunch of electric projects. And we didn't get around to it at first. I mentioned to John that we should try. And then finally we got to it, John came over, and I had some pieces written on acoustic, just instrumental things. And then John just attached right to it and started whipping up lyrics and ideas were spewing. A lot of our stuff gets created where John and I just sit and have social conversations,
Right.
like about what's going on in the world and things, and a lot of our views. And then the ideas just come flying out. But that's how we got together originally.
All right. So give me an example of something essential that you guys must do before a gig. Do you guys have any pre-show rituals?
Well, I try to warm up so my hands move. So that's what I'm trying to do.
I try to get there early enough so that it's not a fire drill to try and get set up and make sound. Usually, you set up your own equipment, and I find that transition from the frustration of setting up the equipment, plugging the wires, make sure it sounds okay, into being someone who has to be focused and present art is a transition that takes a little bit of time.
Tell me about your first gig together. Where was it? Do you have any memorable moments from that show?
You know what? John, do you remember the first gig?
I think our first gig was probably at Never Ending Books, as far as I can. That's usually the place.
And at first, actually, was it just you and I is the question?
Well, yes, it was you and I that
we
started.
started as a duo originally.
Right.
And I think it was, it must have been, makes sense that it was Never Ending Books in Down New Haven.
All right. Now, who are your biggest musical influences, individually as well as a project?
Well, let Fred start, I guess.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just so many. I really started paying attention to music in the 60s, and so I'm a big fan of, the early rock bands, early funk bands, Motown, Stax Records guys. I mean, some of those guys were just so musical. And the music stands up to this day. And plus, even today, there's, musicians that are just technically stellar and just unbelievable. So,
Excellent.
John, you want to go?
Yeah, I also have quite a varied background in what I like to listen to. I always like to say, when you go home at night to pick a CD to play, you don't always pick the same CDs, whether it's folk music or rock music or classical music or whatever. My one thing is I like to feel a sincerity in what the performer is putting out, and I think that's probably my only prerequisite for listening to music. James Brown meant it when he said, "I feel good."
Well, I listen to a lot of different music. I lived in the South in Virginia, so the first music I heard was country and western, Grand Ole Opry, and then from there it went to the rock and roll, the 50s, the 60s, big bands, Duke Ellington, Miles Davis. It's one of my favorites, Stevie Wonder. I mean, there's so many artists. Like Fred says, it's hard to pick one.
yeah.
Yeah.
By the 70s, I was probably on to
Yeah.
Prog, Gentle Giant, bands,
That's kind of what happened. I started,
Magma,
I was only,
big influence, the French bands,
Yeah.
right,
jazz bands,
I was only like 10, I think. I was listening to like hard rock originally, in the 70s. And then I quickly, mid-teens, I probably moved to prog and a lot of fusion.
All right.
And I really love avant-garde music, like John Zorn, Diamante Galas, Frank Zappa. Things that are kind of pushing boundaries I get kind of attracted to.
Yeah.
But everything too, even funk and things with very good lyrics like Leonard Cohen.
Mhm.
This is a complete other side.
Right.
It's
I
not
love
that.
Fishbone.
Fishbone is
Yeah,
another great
Fishbone,
band.
yeah,
Yeah.
love
I mean, I
it.
can't. It's just too many. Yeah, too many influences.
I love music.
We love
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
We love
I
music.
think I've gathered that. So when forming songs, do you guys tend to focus on writing lyrics first or music? Does it vary song to song?
Probably with us so far, mostly it's been usually have some music,
Mm.
and then John will, think what it sounds like.
Get a vibe.
Get a vibe, and like one of those conversations will happen. Then John runs off into his mad scientist place and starts creating lyrics for it. And then these guys come in and start throwing their
Right.
spices on top,
Excellent.
a little oregano and whatever.
So when you guys are choosing a set list order, does one person tend to take the lead, or do you switch it up every show? Is it a collaborative effort?
I don't know what you say, guys.
It's probably pretty collaborative. With Ron makes
I usually whip something up, and they'll complain about a few things.
Okay.
I'll change it around a little bit or something.
Yeah, he's a benevolent dictator.
Yeah.
So I'd like to end all my interviews with 3 interesting or random facts about yourselves that many people might not know.
Oh my God.
If you'd like to, you can divvy it up amongst yourselves, the 3. But
John, you go first. I have no idea.
I'll go first. When I was growing up, my parents had 115 foster children in and out of our house between my ages of 2 and 12.
oh wow.
Well, I have 5,000 albums.
Do you really? No, I didn't even know
I
that.
have 5,000 albums, so I listen to everything, everyone.
Wow.
I'm drawing a blank, I'm sorry.
I know, I am too.
How about what's one food that you would, for no amount of money in the world, wouldn't touch?
Wouldn't touch.
Wouldn't touch.
I can't stand liver. Yeah.
Anything moving.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Anything moving.
I'll go with that one too. It's still moving. I'm not too keen on it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome. If you'd like to check out Fee Fi Fo, please visit the link below. And now we'll cut to a performance from Fee Fi Fo. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Machine feed the machine. 5 o'clock quitting time, 6 o'clock dinner time, 10 o'clock bedtime to feed the machine. Thank you so much. Thank you.